Namaskar, good evening. Me, Apla Mitra Derrick Angelsz in conversation today. My dear friends, it's been a wonderful week which is going on, and we speak to our friends, we speak to our family members. I love you with all my heart. Lovers speak to each other about love, and every time the word love comes in, the first thing that flashes is the shape of a heart. I love you with all my heart, I'll give you my heart. But the question is your heart healthy? Is your heart strong? Think about it, no matter what your age. And today, my dear friends, today evening, we have the director of Global Heart Foundation from Pune, Sujal Narayan. Welcome, Sujal. You're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, Derek. Good evening.
Good
Thank you
evening
for
and
having
welcome
me here.
again.
Thank you. Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure. It's a pleasure. So,
Pleasure's
Sujal,
mine.
I came across, your Global Heart Foundation Hospital in Pune through a friend of mine. And then my
Right.
colleague Nancy spoke about it. And it was very intriguing. It was very wonderful to know that a therapy does exist, to get your heart healthy once again. Most of the
Right.
people fear, they have a fear, if something happens to me, what will I do? The very fear of getting hospitalized and all the invasive things which happen. There are so many questions, and because of that fear, many people move away from getting themselves treated or even a simple checkup.
Right.
So
That's correct.
yeah, today evening we would like to know a lot about your hospital and its treatment called EECP, the treatment that you give along with the Ayurveda tablets and the heart specialist, who are there, the doctors who are there with you at the hospital.
Right. So, Derek, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. Matters of the heart are so difficult, and more so often, they're extremely strenuous for the family. I mean, we deal with multifarious patients on a daily basis, and one thing that stands common for all of them is an extremely high sense of worry,
Right.
and it's bound to happen. There are stories. I mean, I could probably write books and volumes about
Mhm.
the kind of experiences patients have. And so back in the year 2000, Global Art Foundation as a concept was started, and we thought that we need to do something, and we need to get some better technology in India. And
Mhm.
we are based in Pune. We've been based in Pune for so many decades now, and we thought that we need to stream out and do something here. So we started. Our first step towards doing something was we realized that we need to give patients a non-invasive option.
Right.
Uh, Now, typically, whenever you talk about the heart or any cardiovascular ailment, the first thing that one would really think about or talk about would be that an angioplasty, an angiography, a bypass surgery. So these are
Right.
like the first things that come to our mind. The entire world is seeing an I mean, incredible surge in heart patients. Cardiovascular diseases are the number one killer in the entire world. We all know that.
Right. That's right.
And every second house in India now either has a diabetic or a blood pressure, ill-managed blood pressure patient,
Right.
which means that it's only a matter of time that we're going to have some sort of problem. Now, once that problem, unfortunately, if it does come knocking on our door, what do we do? So we said, why
Mhm.
don't we give the patients an option in a herbal format,
Okay.
which they are able to consume with the
Mhm.
modernization of medicine as was prevalent about 2 decades back.
Right.
So we were one of the first ones to come up with a drug called myodrops. That we later on reinvented the drug. We perfected it further on, and now we sell it as Myodrops XL. It's a better version of the previous drug,
Okay.
and it's the first of its kind drug which has specifically uh, it's made from soft gel capsules,
Hmm.
and it's an oil based drug. And the
Okay.
results of this drug were just fantastic, and we got really good response. But then we realized that it's not enough. And somewhere
Sujal,
in
Sujal,
2006,
Sujal, give me a moment here before we move ahead. Uh,
yeah,
Talking about this myodrop. Now, this
yeah,
myodrop is it over the counter pills, or is it needs prescription by a doctor?
it's a prescription drug. It's a prescription
Okay.
drug, but usually what happens is that most of the patients who are on myodrops, we
Mm.
don't need them to continuously get a prescription from us.
Right.
However, because we are online enabled as well,
Right.
so if they do find a need for a prescription, we can just email them. But yes, by
Right.
the word of it is a prescription drug, but easily
Mhm.
available.
My dear friends, let me tell you this. You've heard of myodrops. It does not mean you go and just buy it and have it. You want any further information about myodrop, you have any kind of case happening with you, you can definitely get in touch with Global Heart Foundation Hospital. We will give you the credentials a little later. And after, once the doctor has the right kind of understanding what you're going through, you can go ahead as per the doctor, whatever he says. So thank you, Sujal. Let's move. You know,
Absolutely correct. So, like I was saying, somewhere in early 2006, we realized that we need another arsenal, so to say, in our weaponry,
right,
and that's when we came across this technology called ECP. The ECP stands for Enhanced External Counterpulsation. So, external counterpulsation is what the technical term of the
mhm,
treatment is,
right,
and it predates. Actually, it's back in US. It was available as early as late 87. Of course, it was a very raw version of the treatment than what you see today.
right.
It was administered in a very raw form, but
Mhm.
as early as 87, ECP came into being in the US. Somewhere in the mid 90s to late 90s is when ECP got approved with the US FDA. So that was the first real big breakthrough that this
Right.
treatment had world over.
Hmm.
And in 2006, we realized that, India is definitely ready for something like this. The patients
Okay.
over here are just climbing in huge numbers, and we need to do something about it.
Hmm.
So that's when we, tied up with a couple of companies, a company in the US as well, which was a Fortune 500 company, and
Hmm.
we said we are going to bring this technology to Indian patients over here. We went ahead and did that.
Right.
And in 2009, our ECP program was finally floated.
Hmm.
And from there on, I mean, in a nutshell, to tell you, I mean, between 2006 and 2009, there were only three ECP machines in India, only
Okay.
three, out of which one was for personal use.
Hmm.
From 2009 to 2020, we have close to 1,000 installations now in India.
Sujal,
So,
that's a big number. And for me, very personally, I'll tell you, being in this fraternity, it's a shocking number for me to hear. Meaning, we are not even aware. Even me, as a person who keeps updated, I never had this number.
I know, and that's what we've been fighting. That's what we've been. So the moment you said that, this webinar, this program, online
Right.
program is to create awareness, I really jumped at it, because what I need more than anything right now is for the people to know that they have an option. Whether they exercise it or they don't exercise it, that's completely different.
Very true.
But to know, about 90% of the patients don't even know they have an option.
Right.
And I hope that today's street program can make a little dent, if not a big hole, in that
Right.
those figures.
Sujal, I'm very sure, today evening we are going to actually open a lot of, boxes and boxes, and finally we'll come to that gift where everybody's waiting for. Having such a
Correct.
wonderful, yeah, having such a wonderful device, and, not, uh, it's not being available to the common man, or even to anybody for that matter. Why just a common man? I would say it should be available for everybody. When I heard about it, Sujal, I was a little scared, when I saw the video and how it works. And my colleague said, "What about this?" I said, "I'm getting scared as a layman.
Right.
As a layman, I would get scared too. Oh my God, what's happening?" Then she said, "Not to worry. You have a heart specialist. You have a proper heart doctor. You have a surgeon being there who suggests, and then you guys go in for it. Is that the way you go for it?
Yeah,
Is
no,
that the
well, since we are non-invasive, we don't have any surgeons on our panel. Of course,
right?
we do
Okay.
have other cardiologists who are,
Okay.
operating and
Mhm.
things like that, who are working with us. But
Right.
our in-house doctors are completely, our focus is non-invasive. It wouldn't make sense to have a surgeon come on board.
Okay.
It would
Mhm.
defeat the purpose of what we're trying to do over here.
Right.
And I completely understand. In fact, that has been the struggle. From 2009 up until 2012. I want to just give a big thank you to the first few patients who came to us, who put their
Right.
trust in us. And I mean, it's amazing that we're still in touch with some of those patients. They're doing
Mhm.
absolutely fine. They
Right.
haven't felt the need to go for a surgery. Their cardiologists are a little shell shocked. They're like, please tell us what you're taking because we need it too. So it's a little bit of everything. And so patient awareness, not only was patient awareness an issue for us, but also doctor awareness was an
Right.
issue for us, because
Right.
this technology was so new that you'd be surprised, but there were so many doctors who were not sure what's happening.
Mhm. Right.
So we spent a tremendous amount of time and effort in propagating the word. And I can understand why you feel that you're a little scared. You're a
Mhm.
little scared because you've grown up thinking that if I have a heart problem, the first
Right.
thing that I need to do is start getting onto some pills. So
Right.
if I have diabetes, or if I have blood pressure, I need to start getting onto some pills. Now
Mhm.
I'm not making any medical advice here,
Right.
but there are a lot of cases that you find which are documented, which are out in the open. And doctors as well as patients, they feel that they've been pushed into taking a drug. You
Okay.
will find every so many people saying that I'm sick and tired of taking so many drugs. Okay, don't I have an option? Also, you will find a lot of when you talk about heart surgery, or when you talk about heart problems, like I said, the first thing that comes to your mind is an angiography, an angioplasty, or a bypass,
Right.
and nothing else. So when you have grown into the system, or when you have just grown into your environment, which doesn't tell you that you have an option which may be non-surgical. Now, in any way, I am not suggesting that all the patients who fall under the CAD category, coronary
Right.
artery disease category, are treatable by ECP. No,
Mhm.
absolutely not. And some ECP service providers might make that mistake.
Right.
And no, that's absolutely wrong. And you should never say that. Not all problems can be solved by ECP. But my point over here is that there is a big category which can take benefit of this.
Right, I get to that. And Sujal, I love that statement of yours, being very upfront that everything is not treatable. I
Of course
love
not.
that. One has to be very upfront and very transparent like this. And also speaking
Absolutely.
about, your patient, uh, the patient who trusted you, we just did a little digging at our back end, and we would like to call one of the patient who has undergone EECP at Global Heart Foundation.
Certainly.
So,
Please do. Please do.
yeah, I would like to invite Mr. Petkar. He is one of the patient who has undergone the treatment, and let's hear it from Mr. Petkar. Petkar Sahib,
Pedkar
namaskar.
Sahib, namaste.
नमस्कार नमस्कार
पेटकर साहब, आप हमारे दर्शकों को बताएंगे अपने बारे में और ये ट्रीटमेंट के बारे में, क्योंकि आपने ट्रीटमेंट लिया हुआ है जी।
मैंने ग्लोबल हार्ट फाउंडेशन में 2014 में ट्रीटमेंट लिया हूँ।
जी।
उसके पहले मेरे बड़ी भैया जो उनका एंजियोग्राफी हुआ था नागपुर में, तो उनको अर्जेंटली बाईपास बोला था, सलाह दिए थे उनको वहाँ पे ओक हार्ट हॉस्पिटल में। तो बोले तुम यहाँ से जा भी नहीं सकते, बोले इतनी आपकी कंडीशन क्रिटिकल है बोले। तो उनके उस समय उनकी उम्र थी नियर अबाउट 65 हो। हाँ, तो बोले मैं कोई भी सर्जरी करने के मूड में नहीं हूँ, कोई किसी हालत में नहीं करूंगा। तो
जी।
बाद में हमको पता चला, ग्लोबल हार्ट फाउंडेशन के बारे में पता चला। तो
हम्म,
उन्होंने फिर पहले बार उन्होंने यहाँ पे 2012 में किया था। उनके
जी।
बाद में 2 साल के बाद में मैंने किया।
Right.
मेरे बाद में 2 साल 2-3 साल के बाद में मेरे कजिन है, दो कजिन है, उन्होंने यहाँ से किया है। तो हमारे फैमिली के 4 मेंबर हो गए।
ओके, तो पेटकर
हाँ
साहब, अभी आपने ट्रीटमेंट लिया वहां से, तो अभी
हाँ।
कैसा है आपका? हार्ट का कंडीशन कैसा है?
नहीं, एकदम फिट एंड फाइन हो, जब से कोई तकलीफ नहीं है। पहले जो मुझे तकलीफ थी कि
हम्म,
चलने में धाप लगती थी, और
हम्म,
बीपी कम नहीं होता था, 180 110 115 यहाँ तक
हम्म,
रहता था, वो कम नहीं होता था। तो उस
हम्म,
समय डॉक्टर देश पांडे थे, उन्होंने
जी।
पहले तो रिड्यूस करने का कोशिश की है।
हम्म,
रिड्यूस करने के बाद में फिर उन्होंने
हम्म,
वो ट्रीटमेंट चालू किया मैंने।
हम्म।
हाँ।
तो पेटकर साहब, आप क्या बोलेंगे? ये ट्रीटमेंट लोगों ने लेना चाहिए, नहीं लेना चाहिए? आपकी क्या
नहीं,
राय
जहाँ तक लोगों को हाँ, लोगों के मेरे को जो फोन आते हैं कि ट्रीटमेंट कैसे है, तो मेरे बारे में उनको बताता कि
है?
मैंने यहाँ पे लिया है। और वो यहाँ पे आर्थिक, मानसिक, शारीरिक, ये तीनों
हम्म,
से थोड़ी मुक्त है। क्योंकि अगर आप बाईपास करेंगे तो कम
हम्म,
से कम 3-4 लाख का खर्चा है, पूरी फैमिली सब उसके पीछे लग जाती है। यहाँ पे
हम्म,
कम खर्चे में। और वहाँ पे जब मैंने ट्रीटमेंट किया, जब मैं चिंचवड़ से ही आता था वन गार्डन, वो भी
जी।
बाइक से आता था, ट्रीटमेंट लेता था, 1 घंटे के बाद मैं अपने बाइक से जाता था वहाँ पे। नहीं, ये मेरी कंडीशन है। बाकी घर का भी कोई, मैं फैमिली मेंबर में मेरे साथ में नहीं था, कुछ 2-4 दिन रहे, साथ में आए थे। बाद में उनको मैंने बोल दिया कि आप मत आओ, मैं खुद जाऊंगा, खुद आऊंगा। तो इतनी वो। और वहाँ का स्टाफ अच्छा है, बाकी
हम्म,
ट्रीटमेंट अच्छी है, और किसी बात का डरने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं उसमें से।
जी। पेटकर
हाँ।
साहब, आपके हिसाब से क्या आप आप किसको ज्यादा वजन देंगे? पैसा या मन की शांति?
नहीं, दोनों में बात है, मैं तो बोला दोनों ही बात है।
ओके।
क्योंकि पैसा बोले तो आप आदमी के पास एकदम इतना अमाउंट रहता नहीं है, उसको
वेरी
जब
ट्रू।
जुगाड़ करके पैसा जमा करना पड़ता है, इधर उधर करेंगे। बाद में जहाँ पे वहां पे अगर नहीं रहा तो उसको, फैमिली को वहां पे जाना पड़ेगा, आने जाने का खर्चा है, वहां पे कहाँ पे रहेंगे वो भी प्रॉब्लम है। अरे बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम। उसके बाद में सर्जरी करने के बाद में 1-1.5 महीना तो वहां पे बेड पर से हिल नहीं सकता। अरे बाकी उसके बारे में अगर बाईपास करने के बाद में बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम आ जाते, इससे सब उसको छुटकारा मिलेगा।
तो पेटकर साहब, इसका मतलब ये हो गया कि अगर आप
हम्म,
ग्लोबल हार्ट फाउंडेशन में जाते हैं ये
जी
ट्रीटमेंट
हाँ।
के लिए,
जी हाँ।
तो आपको ये डर नहीं रहेगा कि आपको कुछ लोन लेना है या किसी से पैसा लेना है या आपका घर बेचना है? कोई
नहीं नहीं नहीं
टेंशन?
नहीं 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 नहीं, कोई टेंशन की बात ही नहीं है।
जी।
क्योंकि खर्चा इतना कम आता है वहां पे कि कोई लोन
हम्म,
की कोई इतना ये नहीं है, वो इजीली ऐसा एडजस्ट हो सकता है।
जी। तो पेटकर साहब, आप कुछ हमारे दर्शकों को आपका मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
नहीं, मेरा तो यही बोलना है, चाहे आप बाईपास करो, चाहे ईसीपी करो, आदमी की लाइफ लाइन तो बिल्कुल फिक्स है।
जी।
ऐसा नहीं है कि उसने सर्जरी किया तो उसको बिल्कुल लाइफ लॉन्ग उसको छुटकारा हो गया, और ईसीपी का तो उसको लाइफ लाइन उसकी कम हो जाएगी। ये तो हर एक का बिल्कुल फिक्स रहता है।
जी।
तो क्यों ना उधर जाने के बाद ईसीपी करो, और अपने छुटकारा का उससे,
जी।
वेदना से भी छुटकारा, पैसे का भी ये बचत।
तो इन शॉर्ट, अगर हम ईईसी पे करते हैं तो स्ट्रेस कमती है,
हाँ,
फाइनेंस भी कंट्रोल्ड है,
बिल्कुल।
और फैमिली भी अच्छी है, मींस दे
अच्छा,
आर फाइन विद इट।
बिल्कुल
राइट।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
पेटकर साहब, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका हमारी
थैंक यू,
मदद
थैंक
के। यू केम फॉर टू हेल्प अस, थैंक यू सो मच।
यू,
So,
थैंक यू।
coming to you, Sujal, um,
Yeah, Derek.
yeah, this is something very amazing. You know, when a person has gone there, he has taken the treatment, he has taken his family for the treatment as it was required, and then he talks about it. So, how do you feel about this?
Oh, it's the best. This is what I do it for.
Mhm.
This is the most important thing for
Right.
me, not only me, but even my team. I mean, one of the best things about is that you'll find that in most clinics or in most hospitals, there's a high attrition rate. People
Right.
keep leaving jobs, and but you'll be surprised that there are so many people who've stuck to us with years and years. And
Mhm.
when I mean years, it's like 10 years, 12 years, 15 years,
Right.
because they really love, and we've all felt the presence of their blessings in our daily lives, and there is no doubt about it.
Right.
I mean, this is our real take home from whatever we're doing. I mean, it's just so gratifying. I mean, I mean, so much of gratitude for all these. I mean, they're taking time out even today. This is dinner time, and they're doing it, and this. I mean, it's amazing. I cannot even tell you. I feel so good.
I'll tell you something, Sujal. The thing is, Wednesday is a time we never do this, basically.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we always have something or the other happening. But when
Uh,
it comes to something which will reach out to every person out there, which will benefit them,
okay.
our entire team, we keep everything aside and we go for it. And we wanted to get this as early as possible.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, thank you for doing
So,
this. And
no, we should say thank you, Sujal. Seriously, the thing is, we should be saying thank you to you for doing such a wonderful job since so many years. And we are so
that's my
happy to have
duty.
you on board. We are so happy to have you on board. Um,
Likewise. Likewise.
and tell us something about this FDA. This is a big question mark. When you say FDA,
Yeah.
does one FDA, the manufacturing country, suppose FDA is cleared in that particular country. So is it that if that country clears the FDA, every country clears it, or they all have their own separate
No.
norms?
Every country has got a different FDA, and
Hmm.
every country's FDA operates differently, and
Hmm.
every country's FDA has different jurisdictions.
Right.
But prima facie, if you go to see in the entire world, if there
Hmm.
is one FDA which has the most stringent and the most expensive, the most cumbersome
Hmm.
uh, approval process, and
Right.
when it becomes so stringent, it's because
Hmm.
they want to make sure only the best goes to their citizens, and that's the
Right.
US FDA.
Right.
So when this treatment was cleared by the US FDA, we just said, okay, snap of fingers, we need to get this to India hands down,
Right.
because they, in the US, you don't, it's not like you give some money or you do something, and
Exactly. Right.
in 2 weeks time you get a machine on board. No, no, it's not that. They have years. Probably they have taken close to about 10 to 12 years to sort of promote is the wrong word, to propagate what they're trying to do amongst the entire board. And they have had to go through numerous presentations, dozens of presentations, proof. There has been clinical trials. So that's
Mhm.
that's another
Right.
big thing. Not every FDA asks for specific sort of clinical trials, but the US,
Mhm.
they've gone through stringent double blinded studies, placebo effects, everything, you name it. If you
Right.
just simply go online and type ECP on Google, you will,
Mhm.
yeah, and if you print all of that, I guarantee you will have no space to move around in your house. There's so much of factual data on ECP.
That's amazing and in-depth information you're sharing. So what happens to the FDA with this machine in relation to India?
No, so many countries, including let's say somebody like Australia or
Mhm.
even Singapore,
Mhm.
they uh, consider this treatment as a medical therapy.
Right.
So
Right.
it comes under therapeutic, like you have therapeutic drugs, you have
Right.
therapeutic treatments as well. So this is a medical therapy. And I didn't speak more about the treatment before, but this is a 35-hour treatment. It needs to be taken 1 hour every day over the course of 35 days. It needs to be
Okay.
taken 6 days a week, and the
Okay.
seventh day is usually for resting, and usually when the clinic is shut or something like that.
Right.
So it's a process that the person has to go through. The usually patients can take up to 3 ECP sessions a day, but it depends from patient to patient and what kind of category is his cardiovascular condition in.
Okay.
So it all depends on that. And then we have a screening process where we
Mhm.
put the patient into a specific grid, which
Right.
helps us understand what is
Mhm.
the intensity of the disease that the patient has and what kind of treatment he will be able to accept. So I'm stating all this because to answer your question, that because this is a therapeutic treatment,
Right.
we don't, and the Indian FDA works very, very differently. The Indian FDA doesn't work like the US FDA.
Mhm.
It's got different rules, it's got different
Right.
regulations. So like if you talk about Myodrops XL, that's an
Mhm.
FDA approved medication.
Oh,
It's a GMP certified company,
right.
things like that. So because this drug is also sent out of India, many
Okay.
patients out of India consume this drug as well. So, but in case of ECP, it's a little different. Also, ECP is a little nascent right now. So I'm sure a lot of hospitals have this treatment. Many big cardiovascular hospitals have this treatment. So now it's slowly coming into the gambit of under the medical devices. It's slowly coming under the gambit of the FDA. But as of now, it's not. See, the moment it gets under the FDA, under the medical devices category, it's also going to come under the presence of insurance. So
Right.
things like that. Insurance right now it's not completely approved. Not all insurance providers approve it, but many do. We actually have great experience with central government employees, state government employees, and some private insurances as well.
So this is a very, very important piece of information, Sujal, that
Right.
all insurance companies do not, but there
No,
are a few. But there are a few.
there are. Yes.
Right, fantastic. So this information was completely missing, my dear friends. When we went out for information, we came out with nothing back, saying that all the insurance companies, like, doors shut. So maybe we did not go much deeper, or we could not reach out to them. So insurance,
Derek, very
yeah,
quickly, can I tell you something about
sure,
insurance?
please
So
do.
what happens is that insurance providers have a specific system. They've got
Mhm,
a standard operating procedure for
right.
approvals of claims. So what
Mhm,
happens is we have helped many patients get their
mhm.
claims. Okay,
Right, right.
we prepare an entire file at a clinic or
Mhm,
even our associate centers. We prepare an entire file. We speak to the insurance company. We
right,
explain to them that why this ECP treatment is the best option,
right.
and then only then they go ahead. So if you
Mhm.
just simply go and submit your claim, maybe you get it or you don't get it. It
Okay.
depends.
Mhm.
But once the underwriter understands what is the process of admission of this patient,
Right.
we have been quite lucky.
And as you earlier said, Sujal, that you need over 35 hours, around 35 hours of treatment on this.
Exactly 35 hours.
So what happens is, do they have to come and are they admitted for 35 days? Is it something of that sort, or they
No.
take a treatment and
Yeah, it's a daycare procedure. You have
okay.
to you're free to go around doing your normal activities. You just have to
Mhm.
come to the center, take your treatment, and go back. While you're taking the treatment, you just simply have to lie down. Basically, there are blood pressure like cuffs which are tied
Right,
from your ankle up until your hip, and there is pressure that is generated. These cuffs are systematically inflated, sequentially inflated, and this goes on for another hour. This is coordinated with the systolic and diastolic activity of your heart,
right.
and this goes on for 1 hour. Now,
Okay.
once that is done, the patient just has to change into his regular clothes and get going. And we have a lot of working patients who come to us as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of patients come in the morning, take their treatment, go finish their entire day's work, go back home, rest, and then come back the next day. A lot of
Right.
patients finish their entire day's work and come and get the treatment and go back home. So it really, there is no sort of restriction or interaction that happens with your daily schedule.
And Sujal, what happens if somebody misses a day out? Then what
That's
happens?
okay. That's okay. Usually, if it could happen that a patient gets maybe some cough or cold, or
Mm-hmm.
just some back pain or something like that, or just feeling under the weather, and
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. Typically, it's okay if you miss up to about 5 sessions through your entire procedure. But however, in our previous instances, we have a policy: if patients really miss out on a lot of sessions,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, we give them some sessions just free of charge, because
Okay.
it's not. I mean, it doesn't make sense to charge them for that. They fell ill. It's not their fault, so they
Right.
should get those sessions.
Okay. And what about those patients who have undergone surgery? Suppose they've already undergone a heart surgery outside, and then they come to know about this treatment, and they come to you. What happens to
That's
them?
Oh no, that's absolutely fine. So, Derek, one of the
Mm-hmm.
important things about the ECP, what it's proven to do is that it
Mm-hmm.
increases the EF of or in other words, LVEF, the EF, ejection fraction of the patient. You usually get these figures probably when you do a 2D echo test or something like that.
Right.
That basically means what is the pumping power of your heart.
Right.
The Global Heart Foundation philosophy believes a lot in the pertinent EF. We believe that the patient has a fabulous chance to overcome or at least keep in control the disease if we are able to have a better EF. And this, whatever I am stating, is also again clinically proven.
Right.
Patients with better EF have a higher chance. It's actually simple logic, but they have a higher chance of survivability, better chance of a better quality of life, etc., etc. So it's usually these kind of patients who have had surgery or want to avoid surgery. Again,
Right.
I mentioned in specific cases, they are more than. They're absolutely. It's absolutely okay to take this treatment. There's no restriction about it. In fact, a lot of patients do take the treatment because we do get a lot of patients who have gone through the surgery but still are not free of their symptoms. They still feel heaviness in the chest. They still feel some sort of angina. So, yeah. And it works both ways. I mean, there are some doctors who send patients to us because surgery is the only option for them, but their EF is so low that they're inoperable. So this is a big category of patients where they need to go in for a surgery, but EF is so low that they just cannot be taken. It's an extremely high risk surgery, and a doctor won't touch that patient. So some doctors recommend the ECP treatment to bring up the ejection fraction of the patient, to bring up the pumping power of the heart, and then they are able to go into their surgery better equipped with a lesser risk associated.
So, going ahead with the same line here, what has been the success rate so far?
Every 8 out of 10 patients that we have treated in Global Heart Foundation has not found the need to go in for a surgical intervention at least 2 to 3 years after they've taken the treatment.
Okay. And any eventuality in all these years?
We haven't documented.
Okay.
We haven't documented that. But ECP has, these are our figures, and even there's an All India ECP registry as well, and there is
Right.
a United States ECP registry as well, and our figures resonate with the macro level registries as well. It's clinically proven that the quality of life in patients who have consumed ECP vis-a-vis patients who did not take ECP has gone up. They are able to do their regular activities with ease and without help.
Sujal, one more important thing out here. So, are we talking only about people who have this heart issue, or is it also possible that, for screening purpose, if somebody just wants to come and do a preventive screening, so there, what happens?
At Global Heart Foundation, we've got two options. So usually we ask them to either get a 2D echo or a stress thallium test done, or they could also get a vasculography done. And through that, we are able to sort of find out what in which grade. Like I mentioned before, we have different grades. So which grade, what kind of whether he's a high risk or a low risk patient, and thereon our treatment protocols are fairly set, so we know which are the patients that we can help, which are the patients that we cannot help. Yeah,
So, uh, people nowadays have a sedentary lifestyle. So, would you advise that they should screen themselves maybe once in a 6 months, or maybe once in a year?
I think once in a it all depends on what kind of age group you are, but
Like,
I
let's say about
totally
40 plus.
oh yeah, absolutely, without any doubt, without in an iota of doubt, that we should go in for regular screening, and that should not be restricted to the heart. The regular screening should be your entire body.
Right. So, prevention is better than cure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is no doubt about it. Because just a sort of a grim fact, if I would share, if I could share about the heart attacks. So about 2 to 3 out of every 5 patients
Mhm.
don't get a second chance. So
Okay.
it's their first heart attack and they don't
Right.
make it.
Mhm.
So, but when I say this, in the same breath, I also want to say something else. Uh, Patients who have had a very long history, who have not had, any sort of surgical intervention, who have not had any ECP as well. So it's
Right.
not just, but they've just gone on to live their life completely, fully, and without any problems. Vis-a-vis, there have been some patients who have had taken a surgical option, and so I mean, a lot depends on what kind of mental state you're in. We find, we tell every patient that comes in, if you believe that this
Right.
treatment's going to work for you, then
Mhm.
that's half the job done for us.
Right.
We know, our treatment is as good as it gets, but if you think that it's not going to help you, then it's not going to help you.
And people do need to take care of themselves once they are done with the 35 sessions.
How do you mean?
Yeah, I mean to say, once they are done with the 35 sessions of treatment, uh, they need to take care that they don't fall back to where they came from in terms of
Oh,
their
of
health.
course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, we guide the patients to let them know what kind of lifestyle they need to moderate, make any changes, and things like that. But yeah, I mean, you need to, that, you're at risk of something. So
Right.
just because you've taken ECP, that sort of doesn't give you a titanium armor, so to speak. But
Right.
but what it does is, I mean, usually, I mean, we've rarely seen a patient who doesn't
Mhm.
want to get better. We
Okay.
have seen patients like that, but very rarely. So once they feel better, they're just on their own and they just take off. I mean,
Right.
we spoke to Petkar Sahib now. I mean,
Mhm.
he's just, I mean, they've just turned their life around. I mean, so
So that's amazing, Sujal. You're touching so many lives. That's how I look at it, touching so many lives, and the family, they must be giving you guys so much of blessings.
oh, so many blessings. I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, that's the most important thing for us. I mean, that's
Right.
amazing. Those blessings are, I mean, just priceless.
Exactly. Once you have that, you've got the world at your feet. That's how I look at it,
No, I
Being,
mean, I would say that, we have it at our bosom, but yeah, I mean, it's lovely.
and Sujal, we have Professor Heraskar with us today
Right,
evening.
right.
And I would love Professor to speak to our audience and share his experience about the treatment he has undergone with EECP at Global Heart Foundation.
Certainly, certainly. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Professor.
Yes,
Professor
good
Heraskar, good evening.
evening.
Welcome to Step Up Lives and Alu Connect. Professor, are you able to hear us?
Good evening, but there is a problem of connectivity.
Okay.
Hello,
Yes, we can hear you, Professor.
hello.
Professor, we can hear
Sir,
you.
we can hear you.
Professor, can you share your experience?
There is a problem of connectivity. Now I'm audible now.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Hello.
We can hear you, Professor.
Sir, we can hear you.
Okay, so I have felt the problem in the breathing, just heaviness. So I have consulted my family doctor, and then at that time, family doctor suggested me to consult a cardiologist. So accordingly, I consulted a cardiologist at Kolhapur. He advised me to get admitted immediately. So I got admitted, and various tests they have conducted, like 2D, and then on 5th of the February,
I think we lost him.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes the network gets pretty choppy.
70%.
And that's fine. This is You've got to
So
live.
totally 5 blockages were there,
Okay.
and they advised me to for open heart surgery.
Hmm.
But I had decided to remedy measures. So I was in this global heart foundation treatment. I contacted them on 9th of the February, and accordingly they called me for testing on 10th. So I undergone for 3D heart cardiography, and they also reaffirmed the blockages, 5 blockages which are I was having. So then I discussed with the doctor, so he told me to EEP treatment immediately, 1 hour daily, and also they advised me that myo drop capsules, 2 capsules in the morning, empty stomach, and 2 capsules in the dinner before dinner 1 hour. So accordingly, I have started the medicine and also I undergone for ECP treatment. Then within 10 days of the treatment, I started feeling better, and I also tested myself because no doctor to again test for the other things. So climb 1 story, then I felt myself that there is no problem. So accordingly, I felt the improvement in my heart strength and also my heart capacity. Then after 6 months of the completion of the treatment, again on the 7th of September this month, I have gone to Pune for rechecking. Again, they did 3D cartography. Cartography shows that all my blockages were cleared, and I am now having no blockages. At this condition, I am feeling very nice. I do all my work. I climb stairs 3 to 5 story without any stoppage, and don't have any problem in the breathing. I don't feel the heaviness. Even I walk for 30 minutes daily and I do yoga for 30 minutes. So I don't have any problem after the treatment. And doctor advised me that if I got any feeling of uh, say breathing or anything, I can consult them. But still today I don't have any problem. But I may again test myself after 6 months or say whenever I feel. Far as my knowledge goes, and I have spoken with the patients who have undergone got ET. According to their experience, it is not necessary to go for this ESP treatment. Only thing we have to be lifestyle. We have to less oil so that our cholesterol level should not become higher. Also, the triglycerides, that is, you should consume the less animal fats so that will be our lipid profile should be normal. And if we keep this watch on our
Right.
lipid profile, also about our heart rates or our blood pressure, and so if you have the diabetes, then you should have a good control over the diabetes.
Right.
If we have
So
control
basically,
about all these things,
all
I
that is
think
given.
that there will be no problem, and we will lead a better life because of this treatment.
I'm sure the doctors and the team out there at Global Heart
Yeah,
Foundations
yeah.
give
Physically, I all tested myself. There is some problem in audio. Can you repeat the question?
No, I didn't ask you any question. I said I'm sure the team out at Global Heart Foundation is a
Hello.
fantastic one, which gives out so much of support to every patient who is there and who also ends the treatment out there. And Professor Hiraskar, thank you very much for joining us today evening. And Sujal sir, I have a
Regarding
few
this,
questions. Hello. Yes, Sujal sir.
Yeah, Derek.
Yeah, at times we understand the network does get choppy. And
Yeah, yeah.
so, coming back to the treatment, when we say about the treatment and the patient is gone home, everything is fine. What is the future from here of Global Heart Foundation? Where do you
Oh,
see? Yeah.
it's incredible. I mean, it's extremely promising. What has happened in the last 5 years has not happened in the last 20 years.
Hmm.
I mean, there are a few reasons for that, and the first reason is that now the patient is getting more informed.
Right.
Like I said that the moment you said that we're doing this to create awareness, I said fantastic.
Right.
I was happy to speak without a banner as well, but patients should know that they have an option because
Right.
that and what's happening now is the trend has changed.
Hmm.
First, the patients used to ask their family doctors or their doctors or their cardiologists that what is ECP. Now, a lot of patients go and ask their doctors, why don't you have ECP?
Right.
So that's, I mean, that's extremely promising for us, extremely promising. We're just so excited for the next 5 years because a lot's happening, and a lot of not only India but the entire Indian subcontinent. I mean,
Right.
they're really opening up to this idea. Our partner countries like Singapore, Malaysia, Mauritius, we've begun talks with them, and they're interested in having this technology on board, and moreover they're interested in having our specialized treatment protocol on board.
Right.
There's a particular treatment protocol that we follow, and they're very excited about the kind of results it's bringing.
Hmm.
And they so I'm really happy. I'm like I said, I'm so full of gratitude for whatever is happening, and I'm really excited that I can be of some help and some service, and more so ever, me and my team can put our best foot forward.
I'm sure, Sujal, you have blessings of so many families, so many people from society, and
Absolutely,
also from
absolutely.
from different countries as well. And great things happen, when like-minded people come together. We work for the benefit of children. We work for children's welfare and education. I've been working on this for almost close to 20 years now.
Nice.
And we have an ongoing project of 1.2 million children's emotional well-being. And it's so beautiful. And as we are moving on, we started with like zero. And as we are moving on, people have started joining us, one by one. They're coming, they want to help, chip in. And it's growing. The community to help and to reach out is growing in a very, very big way. And me meeting you today, I'm feeling so elated, happy, and blessed at the same time, Sujal. And
Likewise, likewise.
I seriously have no words for this. And I would love you to give a message to our viewers tonight.
Uh, First and foremost, thank you to Derek, to you and your entire team. It's
Most welcome.
wonderful work that you're doing. It's great. Thank you for all the patients who came. And one very very important message that in fact I try to meet as many patients as I can just to ask them if everything's okay and if my staff is
Right.
taking care of them. And I always tell them that when you get heart trouble, it's
Mhm.
not the end of the road.
Right.
It's definitely not the end of the road, and it's definitely not only the knife's way. So you have a whole lot of options. Just keep that chin up, and just with a little bit of help from us, or like you said, like-minded people like us,
Right.
you're going to get through this so fast. You're not even going to remember it.
Sujal, thank you so much. And my dear friends, my dear viewers, thank you so
Thank you.
much for supporting us at all times. And on behalf of the entire team of Step Up Lives and Alu Connect, Connecting Happiness, and my entire fraternity, I would love to thank Sujal Narayan and his entire team who's out there reaching people
Thank you.
since so many years, so many years. Thank you so much. Good night and take care of
Thank
yourself.
you. Good